This film sets out minimum requirements to safely isolate equipment when working with us. The aim is to ensure a common and systematic approach to isolation, to eliminate incidents arising from unexpected startup or the release of stored energy. Failure in isolation is a cause of death or injury to workers. A worker lost most of his arm when it was pulled into an unguarded conveyor. A 26-year-old man died after becoming trapped in heavy machinery. A fitter was fatally injured when he was pulled into a conveyor belt drive. An employee's finger was amputated in a rotary valve. An employee's arm was dragged into a conveyor, resulting in severe lacerations from wrist to elbow, a broken wrist and a severed fingertip. An asphalt plant foreman was fatally injured when he was struck by the skip. An employee's hand was crushed when he poked a bar into a moving conveyor. Incidents like these can be prevented by following the simple steps set out in this film before starting work. Each task will have an isolation owner. Their control of the process and their knowledge of the equipment are central to managing the safety of everyone working on the equipment. As part of the isolation process, the isolation owner will check that emergency stops are not pushed in and equipment is in safe working order. They will make sure that isolators cannot be locked in the on position. Each operation will have a list of people who can be the isolation owner. The isolation owner will be the first person to apply their personal padlock to the lockout point before any work takes place, and the last person to remove their padlock once work has been completed and checks have been made to ensure it is safe to switch on. Everyone involved in the task will apply their own padlock to the isolation. Padlocks will be clearly labelled with the worker's name or some other means to identify the individual. Padlocks used in the process of isolation must never have a duplicate key. No one should apply or remove any padlock except their own. If any padlocks are inadvertently left on an isolation point, there is a strict process for forced removal which must be followed. A hasp or lock multiplier will be used on every isolation to ensure that every worker can safely join the job by applying their personal padlock. This will ensure that the isolation cannot be removed until all padlocks have been removed by their owners. Hasps must be of a robust design that cannot be defeated. Tags will be applied to any isolation, stating the name of the person who isolated it, together with information relating to the task. Detailed procedures will be available at each operation. They will identify how to lock out every item of equipment. This will identify where multiple lockouts and permit-to-work procedures are required to safely isolate energy. Procedures will confirm how to verify that the lockout has been successful.
Yeah, copy. Copy, Paul. This is John. Paul, we're just about to undertake some maintenance on CV22.
Can you just confirm that it will not start, please?
Right, just a minute, John. CV22.
CV22, I can confirm will not start.
Thanks very much, Paul.
You must carry out the tri-step to confirm that the isolation has been successful. This process will be carried out by competent and authorized persons. Any processes for complex isolations will be set out, including the use of lockboxes. Local procedures will include processes for test running equipment. There'll be arrangements in place for handover and shift change.
Thanks, John. See you later, mate.
No worries, bye.
Isolation procedures also apply to mobile plant and vehicles. Sometimes special devices will be required to lock out equipment. You must never rely on an interlock, emergency stop or pull wire for isolation. Use of key exchange systems such as Castell and Fortress are not a replacement for use of personal padlocks. All isolation devices, switches, etc. shall be labelled to indicate their function and the specific item of equipment that they isolate. All works will be subject to hazard identification and risk assessment processes. Only trained and competent persons will be authorised to isolate machinery and equipment. Training will incorporate this film, a test of understanding, familiarisation with local procedures, specifically how to lock out the item or items of equipment being worked on and how to verify that isolations have been successful. Contractors working on their own equipment are responsible for the effective control and isolation of their own equipment. They shall agree with local management in advance of any work taking place, adequate controls to prevent injury whilst carrying out activities under isolation, and shall comply with company standards. As a reminder, the process is lock out, tag out, try out. Compliance with this standard is mandatory. Please use these rules to help us achieve our goal of zero harm.